Hi, my name is Catherine Went with Syscon, and thanks for taking a moment of your time. Today I wanted to talk about two items specific to Sage 100 Contractor, Aatrix updates and adding general ledger numbers. So if that's not you, thanks for checking in. We'll catch you next time. For the rest of you, a quick update on Aatrix updates and a few details about adding general ledger numbers. I've seen quite a few people adding them or wishing to add them, and there are some important things to keep in mind before you make those decisions and choose the numbers and the naming conventions for them. All right, the quick one on Aatrix. So Aatrix sends updates for the payroll-related reports and certified payroll as well pretty regularly, and when you get near the end of the quarters, like we're approaching right now, they're going to be more frequent. They might be state updates, they might be federal updates, and in our hosted environments and even in our regular networks, most of the time users do not have rights to install these updates. And you might find that a little annoying, but I wanted to tell you briefly why. So these are exe, these are executable files that get installed. And if we gave everybody rights to do that, it would mean that if they clicked on the wrong thing and it was a malicious executable, they would be able to install it. So we take away those rights so that we have to be very intentional about getting these things installed. So in our hosted environment, what we've done, so that we don't annoy you, is each evening we've got an automation routine in place that will automatically install the latest updates from Aatrix. So that should keep you up to date. The only time that might not work out for you is if Aatrix had multiple updates during the day. They'll all be there for you the following day. But give us a call and we can get those installed for you if you need them right then. So that's the update on that. If it's a busy season or something, just let us know. Adding general ledger numbers. So I have a few notes on this. The chart of accounts in the Sage 100 Contractor and other software is broken down into number groupings. So typically the 1,000s or 10,000s would be the assets, 2,000s or 20,000s would be the liabilities, etc., etc. And in those groups, they present in specific places on the financial statement, and they follow certain rules. When you enter it, is it going to come in as a debit or is it going to come in as a credit? So depending on what group it's in and what it represents, those are the things that are decided. So if you want to set up a new interest account, the question is it accrued interest that's going to be on the balance sheet? Is it interest income, which would be in the income range? Is it interest expense, which would be in an overhead expense range? So knowing those questions before you create something, very important. All right, so now you've got the new number and you know what range you want to put it into. So here are some other things to consider. Some accounts would benefit from having sub-accounts. So I wanted to give you a few examples to think about. Employee loans. So you might have an asset account for employee loans, and we would strongly recommend using sub-accounts for that. And if you're taking those deductions through payroll, that sub-account can be their employee number. So it automatically will flow through. So when you lend the money, you would put it in that account with a sub-account for them. And as payments are made, those hit that same sub-account, and you always have a running balance for each employee individually and a grand total number to present on your financials. Same idea, couple different categories though. In the liability range, we would recommend it for child support or garnishment. That liability account should have sub-accounts. Again, employee number is a great thing to do. Prepaid insurance, strongly recommend sub-accounts for the different types of insurance, especially if you're making installment payments that are going to be maybe 9 months or something, and you need to spread out the expenses over 12. Another one is 401k or retirement accounts. Great candidate for that. Liability account for vehicles. So we often will see sub-accounts on that, so you don't have to have a different general ledger number for every single loan. You give it a separate sub-account under the vehicle loan account. Bank fees. If you have more than one bank, maybe you want to keep track of the fees for each bank, but you really only need one grand total for your financial statements. And the last one as a suggestion would be professional services. Maybe you don't necessarily want to break down an account for legal and consulting and your accounting and showing those numbers to the bank, but you have one professional services account. You could have sub-accounts so that you truly do have that information easily available and reportable. The last one I'll mention is departmental. So if you're running departmental financials, it would be really important to make sure that if you're making an income account, that you consider if it is a candidate for being departmental. You have to flag it as such. Same thing if you're entering some kind of an expense account. So income accounts related to the billing and things you're doing, those, if you're running departmental financials, you should have department on that. Direct expenses, those should all be departmental. And then you can consider whether overhead makes sense or not. One of the most common questions I get is that someone's running departmental financials, they made some new numbers, they didn't set them up right, and those expenses are not hitting the departmental financial statements. So after you've got these new ones set up and you have correctly identified them as departmental, you have to go over to the 1.9 screen and you have to push that, use the options and push those out to the new accounts so that they have the sub-account information. That's how it works. There's more in our article in our newsletter, so you're welcome to go to our website, do a quick little search, and you'll see all the details there. Hope that's helpful. If you have other questions, give us a call. Thanks for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.